Hello everyone, today I want to talk about the benefits of doing a unit study versus doing curriculum on a given topic. Honestly, when I first started homeschooling, I wanted to do as much research as I could, choose the best curriculum books on every subject, and I would listen to some homeschooling moms talking about how that's the wrong approach to homeschooling and that you should actually try to unschool your kids and just have more of an exploration, a love for learning type of approach in homeschooling. Having never been homeschooled, to me what seemed to make the most sense is to teach my kids out of a curriculum book. I think we do this because we know that there's a greater chance that our children will learn the most information on a given subject for their grade level from a book. So I had decided to go with master books for our science subject. And I just want to show you what our typical lesson looks like when we do use this book. I'm not someone that is a fan of buying a curriculum and then just not using it because it costs money. It might not be my favorite, but I want to make the most out of it. I'd rather just not get the next book instead of just quitting the curriculum along the way. A lesson doesn't take longer than 15 minutes, depending on how many questions my kids ask and so forth. So for example, in this lesson, we would be covering the topic of roots and stems, and here specifically we're learning about stems, and I have the information in front of me. I have what they're going to learn, and here is a tracing word section. Here is a scripture that they have to trace, a sentence from the Bible. And then here's an activity. Match each stem to the top of its plant. Seems like something fun for the kids to do. That would be for that day. And then the next lesson you continue. And this time you're learning about branches, and then you have a different activity. Little by little you're learning about these topics in an informative style. But sure enough, your kids will ultimately decide what your homeschooling will look like. I've come to realize that there is some wisdom in those homeschooling moms that do say to unschool your kids and try doing unit studies, for example, where you use other things besides a curriculum book. At first, I had decided to buy a book where I was just sitting down with my kids, reading it to them, and I noticed throughout the homeschool day, the kids were excited, but when I was reading to them about science, they just kind of looked uninterested. So that's when we decided to go with this curriculum. But the most fun that we have in homeschooling, I definitely think it's when we do unit studies. And it's nice to have those memories also. It's fun to explore a topic and learn alongside with your kids. It's more fun for you as well as the teacher and for them as the student. We decided to do a bug unit because my son thought it would be something he wanted to learn more about. I saw this as I was scrolling, and a couple of them are missing right now, but they're around the house. But it's just something that I found that has real bugs. I hope you can see them. They have real bugs in here and a magnifying glass for them to observe closely. And I thought that would be a great way to incorporate observation to our unit study on bugs. This was one of the first books I had decided to get. All of the books I'm going to share are from DK. When I was looking through different books online, I noticed that these seem to have more information and the pictures were really attractive. It's called Superbook Encyclopedia. And I thought this would be a really good book for them to glance at and if they want me to read a certain section, then I'll be glad to do that. Looking at bugs is not my favorite thing. Some of them make me a little queasy, but if it's something that my kids are interested in and something that it would be good for them to learn more about, then I'm all for buying them these books with very realistic pictures. Here's another great book, The Book of Brilliant Bugs. And this one, the pictures are more like cartoons, but they're still really beautiful, and every page is just engaging. We're going through this book page by page, and it's really interesting, all the things that we're learning. I like to create activities along the way. Another book that we have been using is the Bee book, and it's also cartoon style pictures. Everything that you're reading is really engaging and easy to understand, and it's even practical. We have always been terrified of bees when we're outside, and now that we understand that the purpose of a bee is not to come after us, it's helpful to know what they're really out there trying to do. If we were to learn about bees in our science curriculum, we probably would just learn a few things about them, but here we get to learn so many things about bees. And along the way, you're learning things that you're encouraged to teach in the standards as well. So whether we're using one of our books in our unit study, or if we are using our curriculum worksheets, hands-on activities. For example, we had a lesson here that was teaching us about roots, and we decided to go to the backyard and try to pull some of the plants outside and find the roots and remember what the type of roots are called. So no matter how you decide to teach science, remember to have fun learning alongside with your kids. And that's all I have to say for this video. I'll see you on the next one.